What was the name Pivot and Slay? And I was trying to think like what that night was like. It's like you come up with names all the time. Sometimes they just show up and you're going to brand something or so. What was behind that name? Was it you personally? I mean, was it your shift of like, this is my pivot and I'm not holding back, I'm going to slay? I mean, that's pretty much what it is.
The word pivot got such a bad rap during COVID, and I don't like the way that it's being used. To me, a pivot is really purposeful turn that you take to get around a hurdle so that you can still slay your goal. And when I was coming up with the name of my company, I was thinking about all the times in my life where I've had to really adapt to the situation. I gave you already some examples, like in law school when I didn't get in, right? I had to adapt when I had to show up in a room full of future lawyers unprepared, right? I had to adapt. I'm a litigator, so I think on my feet. And I'm a huge fan of the show Friends. And they have this great scene where they're moving a couch up a staircase and they're saying pivot. I saw that when I was younger and I just always use that word, and I'll just mess around and be like, pivot, pivot. Like I'll just do that with my friends. So I knew when I was making this company to help people find freedom and scale their businesses that I needed to incorporate a word like pivot so that people know, like, you could have the best laid plan, but if you're not adaptable, you're never going to win. Because nothing is going to come at you the way you think it is. So you better be able to
there is so much to unpack there because people get stuck and they don't. So here's a good question, because you're working with people all the time, running these types of scenarios. And when you see someone does that, how do you look at the things they have to let go? Because quite often it's like people want to pivot and take stuff. How do you pay?
That's why I said pivot, then slay, because if you just keep pivoting, you're like a dog with one leg missing, right? You're just like going around in a circle, in a circle, in a circle. You have to pivot and then continue on forward towards your goal. So you got to slay the goal still. When people get stuck because they want to control everything, right? So they craft this perfect scenario where if they do everything this way, then everything will work out. And it's like, have you ever had a plan really work out the way you thought it was? No, it never happens, right? So why are you trying to craft a perfect universe when one doesn't exist? Just start, because things are going to happen and take you off the path. So you might as well just stop thinking about all that crap and just starting. So that's what I tell them, starting. And I can tell you that I've been in business now as an entrepreneur for over 10 years, and everything I ever thought of and tried to anticipate never happened, and a whole mess of other crap happened. So it doesn't matter how much you overthink it. What you're thinking of is probably not going to be the thing that derails you at the end of the day. So you might as well just start. And as things come, you adapt and you pivot and you keep slaying. And that's why I named my company that, because it's so impactful. And when you read the title, you know exactly what I mean. Like you intuitively just understand what I'm saying.
You know that there's like a position you have to take here. I mean, if you're going to work with you're going to have to pivot and literally go for it.
And what's the worst that could happen? That's what I ask these people, right? Like,